Om Shanti. Thank you everyone for joining us today to learn how to design flyers on PowerPoint. I would request you all actually to tell me कि आपको English में चाहिए session या हिंदी में. Also, my Hindi is bad, so English is preferable. But because I know a lot of people have joined from everywhere, and some places Hindi is not the first, like the talking common language. So, agar chat mein, if you could just tell me which language you prefer, so we can start the session in that language. Okay, mix, I guess. English. All right, so I will try and talk in mixed language. Thank you so much. So I'll just tell you a little bit about myself and then we'll start the session. During this session, I request you all to please keep your videos and audios on mute so that other people don't get disturbed when the session is going on. I will just tell you the flow of the session first. So basically, what I'm going to start with is show you some examples of flyers. Then we'll do a live demo where I will show you from start to finish how to design a flyer. So we will see all the different tools that we can use in PowerPoint to design this flyer. Then there is this app, this website called Canva, on which we can do some basic designing. So there are templates and everything ready-made. So we'll just explore that a little bit depending on how much time we have. Okay, I will try and keep it in English because many from the South cannot understand Hindi. Thank you so much for that, Shivraman Bhai. Then last we'll have a Q&A round. So in the Q&A round, you can always ask your questions even in the middle of the session. If you feel you have a question, please write it down in the chat box and we'll take these questions at the end of the session. I have kept everyone on mute so that we don't have any disturbances in the middle of the session. So it's better if you have any questions, we can just take them by you typing it down on the chat box. I'll start by introducing myself a little bit. Om Shanti, my name is Kosha. I am in Gyan since the last 6 years and I am a designer. I'm an illustrator by profession. So I've studied commercial arts. So I have studied all these different design softwares and I have been working as a freelancer. But lately I realized that you can even do a lot of designing work on PowerPoint. So I used to use design softwares only, but I was working in a corporate for over 2 years. And that's where I realized that other people who can't use design softwares get stuck when they have to edit something that I have designed, some text or something. So I just realized, how can we work on PowerPoint so that not only designers, but other people can change things according to their requirements as well. So today we'll just be exploring that part of PowerPoint where it's not just used for making presentations, but how can we use the same tools a little more creatively. So I'll just share my screen and I'm going to stop my video. And we'll just start the session. So thank you so much for joining everyone. And I really hope this is going to help, in Sewa, because especially since the lockdown, so much of the Sewa has now become online. So there are more programs and because of so many programs happening, the need for flyers, making flyers has also gone up. So the more we are equipped with this, then it's going to be helpful for the Yagya and Sewa. So also for any of y'all, in case y'all want to refer to YouTube later for the video recording, I encourage you to do that because I'm going to be showing you a lot of things that if you are not, because we're going to cover all this, right? How to resize, how to insert text, images, alignment, everything. So if you ever feel like, ye thoda upar se gaya and you didn't really understand it properly, or if you feel like you missed a step and you forgot how to do it, then please note down the YouTube link below. And you can always go back to the Brahma Kumari's Pune ka YouTube channel and look for this session. and just go through the video again, because the more you actually practice, then you're going to get better at it. It's like that for all softwares. The more we practice, the better we become. But you might not get everything in one go. So I encourage you to just look at the video again if you ever get stuck. Okay? So we're just going to start with the session. And first things first is the basic requirement to create a flyer. So what all do you require as a designer to create this? So what usually goes in a flyer is, first of all, the text, which means what is the name of the program, what is the additional information, what is the program about, who is it for, what is the date, what is the time, contact information like email, numbers, all that. And organizers is usually organized by Brahma Kumaris, and then the name of the center. Then we need Baba's logo. We need a background. We need images. And if there are photos of, like if there are speakers and you want to put a photo. So what we're going to do first is we're just going to look at a few examples of flyers, of the kind of flyers you can design on PowerPoint depending on your creativity. So all this really depends on how well you kind of practice the tools, and then what all you can think, because actually PowerPoint is such a tool which is very underrated, I feel, because I have made an entire animated video on PowerPoint using only PowerPoint. So actually you can do a lot with it. We're not going to go in so much detail today, but I'm just saying that there are a lot of possibilities. So just keep an open mind and enjoy the session and try and learn as much as you can today. Okay, so this is one of the flyers that I had created. Actually, I'm just not going to keep it on full screen so you can see it properly. This is something that I had once created long back, but this is, and I don't want to keep it on full screen because I want to show you how all these are different elements, okay? So basically this is different, this is different. This is how we create on PowerPoint, where all these elements are different things, and then you just put them together, and that's your flyer. Similarly, this is different, this is different, this is different. All these things are separate elements that we just put together. Now we'll learn how all that happens. Again, this is something that I had designed. Everything is different. Here, the background, I had designed it on Photoshop. So the background is one piece like this. And everything else is different elements. Similar to this. This was designed on CorelDRAW because of the Hindi. But it can be easily designed on PowerPoint as well, and we will see how today. This was also designed on CorelDRAW because of the Hindi, but it's very simple, right? One background color and some images and text. Again, so all these things are very possible, and I'm going to show you the tricks and techniques of it. But first, I just wanted to show you what all is possible. So once you know the possibilities of it, it's easier for you to kind of, open your mind to what all you can really do with this. So this is just like one rectangle. Again, all this is different, okay? So I've just grouped it together, but I'll ungroup it so that you can see how, all these kids are separate elements. These rays are separate, this is separate, and then the background separate. Okay, so like that, we just put things together in a way that looks nice. Same in this. I've grouped it together. So I right click on the outermost box, go to group, go to ungroup. So all these elements get separated, and then you can see even this is grouped. Ungroup, it's all individual leaves, individual things. Okay, and it's all just put together. So basically that's how I have been making flyers on PPT, and that's how we're going to learn to do it today. This was made on Photoshop, but it's easy to make it on PPT. This was made on PPT. This was not made by me, but I just wanted to take some flyers from the internet as well to show you कि possibilities kya hai, okay? What all is possible. All these are possible to make on PPT. And we will even see how you get the photo in a circle. So today we will learn to do that as well. Okay, so all these you can make. So again, I just want to tell you that we need certain things. Now, what I have done actually is I have already what I have been using some Baba's logos, different kinds, 2-3 of them, some backgrounds, some basic images like this leaf here. ऐसे सब images I have saved in a folder and I have put it on a Google Drive. If you give me a minute, I will see if I can share that link with you right now. So what you can do, actually I'll share the link at the end of the session. And maybe y'all can just copy paste it on your laptops or desktops or whatever. And then y'all are free to use those images for the flyers you create. And I'll just show you that folder before we start. Just a second. Okay, so I'll just share my screen again. Sorry, yeah. Okay, so this is how I keep certain things ready. So whenever I need to use them, and they're all PNG images. Now, what is the difference between PNG and JPEG image? PNG images don't have a background. So if you open it, you will see these squares, these gray and white squares in the background. I don't think you can see them right now. I don't know how to share this. Let me try 1 second. Okay. So for example, I have double clicked on this Baba's logo image. And when I zoom in, I can see that in the background, there is gray and white color ka squares. That means that this is a PNG image. PNG image means there is no background to it. So if I take this logo and I put it on a blue color background, then also उसके logo के पीछे white space नहीं दिखेगा. It will be directly this orange and yellow color directly on the blue color. Okay, so when we save JPEG images are usually with a white background, but PNG images have no background. So whatever color uske niche hoga, you can place your image on top of that and it's going to look good. It's going to fit. Okay, and there are a few backgrounds here that I've got that I have saved. Now it's very easy to do all this. You can save, I think I'll show you that after we make one flyer. Now to make this flyer, what I'm gonna do first is I have already taken some dummy text, okay? So I'm just first going to copy paste that on my PPT. 1 second. I'll just share my screen just a second. So on a Word file, now whoever wants to get this flyer made, the center or whatever, so the sisters will give you this information, okay? Now I have just ऐसे ही copy pasted that information. I'm just gonna share my screen now, 1 sec. Okay. So now you'll see that I just took it from Word file and I just copy pasted it here. Now I hope you know how to copy paste it. Control C for copy, come here and Control P for paste. I'm sorry, sister, I have to stop sharing in between because whenever I change windows, like if I go to Word file or if I go to my folder, the sharing automatically stops because because Zoom doesn't allow me to share more than one screen at a time. So I'm so sorry about that, but I'll try not to do so much of it. So this is the information I have. Okay. Now the first thing I have to do is put a logo on it, or I can think of what background to use. So I usually go to my folder where I have certain backgrounds already ready made, and I just take a background. Suppose I will take this one. Okay. Now I will blow it up. It's actually quite small, smaller than I thought it would be. But now one trick is, for example, whenever I have an image and I want to increase the size of the image, I am going to press the corner button and I'm going to press on the shift button. Shift allows me to change the image, resize it proportionately. That means I'll actually show you with a logo. Let me show you with a logo. Now, if I just change the size like this, the logo is going to stretch and it is not going to look good. Okay. So we don't want to stretch it like this and spoil it. So whenever I want to make this smaller or bigger, I'm going to take the corner. I'm going to press down the shift button, hold the shift button down, and then resize it so that all the sides get resized at the same time and the image doesn't stretch and it doesn't get spoiled. So the look stays the same. Okay? Actually, since I'm not using the insert function, though you can use the insert function also, which is up here to include pictures, but I find it easier to click and drag. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking it from my folder and clicking on it and dragging the image into PPT. Okay, so that's one more way to do it. So also, I wanted to show you how to resize the canvas. Now, suppose I think this is a A4 size canvas, okay? And I don't want it to be this size. So I want it to be a square. I go to design. I go to slide size. And here we have our basic templates for PPT, which is 16:9, which is a wider screen, and 4:3, which is standard. But I want to make it square. So I go to custom size. Now in custom size, there are a couple of options that we see. Here you have A4, A3 are basic sizes, but I want a square, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna type in my own sizes. I'm gonna make it 8:8 inches. Now, sometimes if you want to make a A4, you can just choose portrait or landscape, okay, depending on what you want, so that you can change from here. In square, there is no portrait landscape, so it doesn't matter. And here we have a square. Okay, I'm actually gonna go back because I don't want a square. I just wanted to show you how to get it done. So yeah, just a second. Okay. So similar to how we stretched the logo and resized it, I'm gonna resize my background and I'm gonna make it fit. Now, if sometimes you feel like you stretch the background, but it's going beyond the screen, right? Like you can see that the screen ends somewhere else and this is going over it. It's going bigger to it. I will also show you how to do that with images, but I'm gonna show you now. Keep the background or the image, whatever, clicked. Go to format, go to crop. Okay, you'll see a crop tool. Use the crop tool and just see till where is your slide ka line. And then you just resize, like crop out the extra parts that you don't need. And then after you're done making the correct size, just click outside once and it will crop to the size you want it to be. There's another thing, when you go to view, you can go to guides, it'll give you these guidelines. You can go to grid lines, which will give you these square kind of lines, which will allow you to place your things in a better way. So that is in view. And then you go to these. Okay, so now I'm gonna start with my topic. So I'm going to cut this from here, Control X, paste it here, Control V, and I am going to go to home because that's where all the resizing happens. And because it's the heading, I will make it bigger. Now I want to show you a few things. For example, if we go to this poster, usually whenever we are designing something, the eye is always being directed by the design. So the eye is being told, where should I look first? Where should I look second? Which is why these headings, I'm so sorry, Asmita Ben, I don't know if the 2007 version has all these options. You'll have to check. I'm so sorry, I don't know. So, okay, somebody said yes, so that's good. So usually when we're designing, it has a sequence, it has a hierarchy. So the heading is always the biggest because that's what we want people to see first. Okay, so when I look at this flyer, my eye first falls on the heading. Then it goes to the second largest thing, which is the logo, and then to the date. And then I read all this niche ka stuff. So basically any flyer that you see will have a hierarchy like that. Like they will tell you what you should see first, and they're going to make those things bigger. So similarly, when we are making our flyer, we need to make the heading the biggest. Okay, now I made this, but I want to use a nice font. Like it should just look attractive, right? So, I mean, there are so many to choose from. You can always even install more fonts. That I will not be showing you today because that's another, I think, long topic. That's for another day. But for now, just choose whatever nice font you like. And usually we write, can you also explain? Okay, yes. So I will be showing you how to collect those images as well. But after we make this flyer. So usually below the logo, we write Brahma Kumaris. So I am going to go to insert text box. Okay, and I'm just going to create a small text box like this. I'm just going to click and drag a box out, and I'm going to type Brahma Kumaris. Now, if you see, this is left aligned, and I want it to be center aligned. So over here is all your alignments. So I'll just go to center align. I'm going to place this below the logo. I am going to color it red. This is where you color the text, okay? Font color. So I'm going to color it red. When you click on this tiny arrow, it gives you more options. Another way to do this is if you go to eyedropper means this is what's selected. So iska color change hoga, but what do I want to change it into? So whatever color I want to pick from wherever, suppose I want this green. So eyedropper helps you select colors from whatever is on your screen. Suppose I want this blue. Okay, so if I want this green, then it's going to become green. So I will not be explaining how to install Hindi fonts because fonts is a different thing. Sorry, I'm just checking messages in between. I will, so the recorded session, it's also live on YouTube. So please go to the YouTube link afterwards, and the recording is going to stay on YouTube. So you can always look at it from there. All right, so we did this. Now, usually there is a subheading or some information. Okay? Again, I am copying and pasting. I want the online session to be before this. Now, just one thing which you all probably know because you all already use PPT. If I click once on the text box, then it allows me to edit stuff. But if I want to move this whole thing, then I click once on the outside box. Okay, so now it becomes a solid and now I can move it. Now again, for moving it, if this is perfectly in the center and I want it exactly below this, if I hold down the shift button, it will let me move it exactly in the same line. Okay, वरना if I'm moving थोड़ा इधर उधर हो जाएगा, right? But if I hold down the shift button, it will allow me to move it exactly. So now you have to see, okay, now if I click on this, whatever I click on and whatever I select, that's going to move. So you have to be a little careful about that. Now I don't like this color. I don't want it to be black. So I'm just going to make it this orange. I can always go to more colors, custom, choose my colors, make my colors, okay. Okay, so that is also an option. Now, online session. I actually really like Century Gothic as a font. That's one of my favorites. And it is a default font, so every computer has them. So you can try it out, see if you like it as well. Now, date. So first, what I like to do is I just like to place things. Sorry. I just like to put things in place first and then edit it a little bit. So I'm just going to go a little faster with this so that I can show you later how I edit it. So here I just put the general placements. And then of course things change when I start designing it a little more. Okay. So I'm just taking it from our, whatever we had copy pasted from our Word file and I'm putting it here. Organized by Brahma Kumaris is usually something that goes right at the bottom. Now, because this green is interfering with this, just gonna keep it on the side for now. Phone and email could go together. That's fine. Okay. So I think I've copy pasted everything. I don't need this anymore. So I'm just gonna delete it so it's out of the way. Now I see that here we have Brij Mohan Bhai's name and Shivani Ben's name. So luckily I have their pictures. So I'm just gonna get their pictures over here, okay, to show you how we can do that, work with them. Now Shivani Ben's picture is nice and bright, so I can use it the way it is. But this one, I actually took a screenshot of it or something from a video. So the clarity is not so great and it's a little darker. So PowerPoint also allows us to slightly edit pictures. What we're going to do is we're going to go to format. Okay, so I'll choose this picture. Format is already selected. I go to color and it allows me to adjust the color a little bit. I'm just going to keep it here so I can see what's happening to it. And I am also going to actually turn off the grid lines because they're disturbing me. But you know how to work with that now. So, okay, so now the color. Okay, so I'll go to corrections because color will allow me to add color to it. Again, sorry. But here, for example, if I choose yellow, okay, which is a cool effect which you can use for other things, but we don't want to use it right now. So I'm going to go to corrections, which is going to allow me to make it maybe brighter. Not so much. You can choose how much brightness you want. This one seems okay to me. This is too much. Actually, it's not so bad. Okay, I'm just going to choose this for now. Now what I want to do is, like we had seen in the other poster, I want these pictures in a circle. So I'm going to select his picture. I'm going to go to format. I'm going to go to crop, and I'm going to choose crop to shape. Now they will tell me, okay, you want to crop this picture, but to which shape? So I can do anything. I can do a triangle, I can do an arrow, I can do this plus sign, anything, but I want to do a circle. So I choose circle and it gives me this oval. Okay, but I don't want the oval. So I am just going to go to aspect ratio, because this is not a perfect circle, it's an oval. I will tell them I want 1:1 ratio. So then they will give me a perfect circle. Now it is already clicked. So I just click, I mean, it's already cropped to the way I want it. If I want to crop it a little more, I can drag this and do it however I want. Okay, if I want thoda or zoomed in, shift daba ke I can just go a little more inside. I can reposition the picture. Okay, and then once I'm happy with it, एक बार बाहर पे click किया तो it's cropped to a circle shape. Okay, abhi, because this side of it is white, I want a little bit of a border. So I'm going to go to picture border and I'm going to choose this color, the same color that we chose for our text. Now I want the border to be thicker. So I'm going to go to picture border, weight, maybe 3 points. Now it's looking a little dark. So I'm just going to go and select a lighter color. Yeah. Okay, so that's how you put the picture in a circle, a photo in a circle. So I can add that here. Ideal font size in a A5 page. So ideal font size for anything, minimum is 11 points. You should not go below 11 points for like written text. For maybe something like Brahma Kumaris and everything, you can go a little smaller still, but 11 is the minimum. I'm just going to just quickly do the same thing with this, okay? Format. Now, if maybe we want to see another shape to this, I don't know, I haven't tried other shapes before. Actually, I like circle only better. We're gonna go stick with circle, then you go aspect ratio 1:1. Now see, this is coming because it usually comes to the center of the image, but Shivani Ben's face is on the left. So I'm just going to choose the image, holding down the shift button. If I don't hold down the shift button, ये थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे हो जाएगा, which I don't want. So I'll select this, hold down the shift button, move it to the right. So it's perfectly done the way I want it. Click outside. It doesn't look good if one thing has a border and the other one doesn't. So इधर मेरे presets already saved है, the same color. So I'm just gonna click on it. Okay, open it, choose the weight. We had put 3 points. So yeah. And again, I'm gonna press the shift button, decrease the size, and there we have it. Okay. So here are the two speakers ka pictures. Now how to align. Now you'll see that PowerPoint has these smart guides. Okay. So they come to know that we're trying to align it with something. Now I'm just gonna make this bigger until it's as big as this. See this top line which says you've reached that height. Okay. Now you have to be very careful about this. Like if it's talk by somebody's name and then this is his designation or position or whatever, it should start at the next line. Like it should not be that half his designations up and half down. So everything should be very proper. Even in the text, you should just keep an eye on it. Like even if you have a lot of text written, some words should not be cut. Like try and press enter and bring it on the next line. So here I'm going to just decrease the size of these and I'm going to change the font to like a Arial or something normal. Arial is the most commonly used and most decent looking font. So even if you don't know which font to think of using, or even if you feel like, I don't know what font to use and I don't have too much time to think about it, just go with Arial, go with Century Gothic, it's gonna be fine. And actually, I'm gonna turn this also to Arial because design sense wise, too many fonts on screen can also look haphazard. So don't do like every line in a different font. Maybe 2 or 3 fonts in one flyer maximum, not more than that. Otherwise, it'll become too much. It'll look very hodgepodge. I'm going to make this lighter. So because I'm making the size bigger, I can go a little lighter with the color. Okay. So this is where I start my designing a little bit, where I'm increasing it. Is it looking too thick? Then we can go for a thinner one. I have a lot of fonts actually because I do this a lot. You might not have so many options. That's okay. Even if you go with a very simple one, that's completely fine. So we will put program highlights now right under this. Again, go with Arial. So I'm using fancy fonts for the heading and for the time and date, but I am using Arial for everything else. Okay, because I want there to be some kind of so some kind of equality or whatever. Now I want to decrease the size of both these. I can click on one, click on shift to choose this also. So I chose both of them together by clicking on shift. Now again, I will click on shift and from one corner, I will decrease the size so that dono same size ke, it becomes small. Like see, they're both the same size. So I want to decrease them together. I have a few questions in the end. Yes, please, because I can't keep checking the chat box. All right. So I'm just going to place this here. Sorry, just a second. Hold on. Sorry about that. I would request you all to please keep your videos off if that's okay. Thank you so much. Okay. So we're just going to continue with this now. Maybe we could try, and it's good to try different layouts to see how it looks and see if we can fit everything together. No, this was looking better. Okay, and now what I want to do is first I want to work on this area a little bit. So it's looking very good, the flowers, but they are coming in the way of me placing text on it. So I want to make it a little duller, lighter. So I'm going to go to insert. I'm going to insert a shape, maybe a rectangle. And I am going to place that rectangle all over this area. Okay. Now I will, obviously we don't want a blue color and it's not going with that thing. So I'm going to choose the shape fill. Now, when I select this, I go to format. That's where I get all the format options, and see any software that you use, it's all very logical. Okay? So what you need to do is, if I want to change something of a shape, then I'm going to have to format the shape. So go into the format section. Okay, that's how you should just think and try and understand this software. Now I want the same color as this background. So I'm going to go to eyedropper and choose this background. I don't want the outline this time. So I go to shape outline and I choose no outline. Okay, so it's blending a little bit with the background. but I do want the flowers to be seen. So I am going to, again, I'm still on format. I will click on this tiny button below. And if you'll see, my rectangle is still selected. So I'll click on this button and I will get format shape options. I'll go to fill, transparency. So I'm just gonna decrease the transparency. So that means I'm making the box more transparent and less transparent. So I'll keep it somewhere in between. Click outside. Now, what I did is the rectangle is now above this writing. Two ways I can fix this. One, I move the rectangle a little bit, right click on this box, bring to front. So it'll be on top of everything else. Another way I could have done it is right click on the rectangle, say send to back. Now it has gone behind your background. So I will choose the background also and I will say send to back and that will go behind everything. So there are basically, what we are doing is we're bringing one thing front, one thing back. And the more newer stuff you add to it, it's going to keep coming on top of things. Like I added the pictures after the text. So now the pictures are on top of all the text. If I want the text to be on top of the picture, I just bring it to front. So it's on top of the picture. So that's how it works. So now I know the edges are not perfect, but I mean, you got how it works. So I'm just gonna keep it here, keep this here, same line. Once I get the same line, I'm just gonna press shift to move it so that I don't lose the alignment. Another way to align things is click on this, holding shift. So you choose two items at once. And I want to make sure they are perfectly aligned. Okay, so I go to format, I go to align middle, horizontal, and they are aligned. If I wanted to align them center vertically, I go to align center. Now they're all one over the other. Okay, so that's how alignment works. So I'm just going to place this text here, this text here. Even the text should be aligned. Okay, so this could be center aligned actually. Now I want one more box here because I want to separate it or make a segregation or something. So this time I'm going to make use of a rounded rectangle just to change things. Draw it. Now this time I want it to be white in color with no outline. I'm going to place it here. Now, just to show you, I'm just going to color it right now. If I want this to be more rounded, can you see this tiny yellow rectangle square over here at the edge? So when I select the rectangle, I can see this tiny yellow square. When I move it, it allows me to completely round the edges. Okay, so this is true for all editable shapes. Like if it's not a square or a triangle, if it's some shape which can be edited a little bit. So we have all these yellow squares. Let me just show you a complicated one. For example, I choose, okay, let's take an arrow for now. Okay, I choose this arrow. Now here we have two yellow color squares. One will allow me to increase or decrease this arrow ka stick as much as I want to. Okay, I will keep it this much. And this one will allow me to see how big I want the arrow head to be. Do you want? So that's how you even make new shapes. So you can really explore this and see. Now, suppose I design it and I choose the eyedropper tool and I make it this color and I remove the outline. then this can just be a design element in my flyer and it's a shape. So it's like you can just use these basic shapes even that are already given in PowerPoint and you can just use them however you want. See? So there's a lot of possibilities. I mean, there's so much. I don't even think I'll be able to cover everything that you can do with PowerPoint today because there's so much to do. But yeah, okay, see now again, because I added the rectangle last, the text is going below it. So I'm just going to right click on the text, bring to front on all of it because the same thing's going to happen to everyone. Okay, now I'm just going to say register through this website and all this information is just made up. Okay, so because I just wanted to show you, like I wanted to give you a dummy example of how you can really work with information. So this is how, if you want it center aligned, you can do it center aligned. Now my text is a little more than the rectangle, so choose the rectangle, make it bigger, add this towards the end, maybe change the colors of the text, and there you have a flyer, decent flyer that you can use. I know this is not the prettiest design, but I just wanted to show you all the tools. Now, I'll just take a new slide. Click on new slide. I always prefer blank. I want to show you how you can insert shapes and crop them. So one way to insert shapes, images. One thing to note is insert pictures, then it tells you where is your picture. So I've saved everything of mine on desktop, PowerPoint session, PNG images, and not backgrounds. Maybe I will just choose this pretty shape, okay? Insert, there we have it. Now I don't want to use this entire shape, I want to use half of it. And if you see, this part is more darker, this part is lighter. So when you click on an image, you will see this rotate button on top. I can just rotate things by clicking on it. So I took the light side, I put the dark side away. Now I will crop this shape, okay, because I want only half of it. So I choose the image, go to crop, and I'm just going to cut out half of it. And I'm going to click once outside. So this is my half. Now I copy and I paste the same thing. Now I want this to face the other side. So I'm choosing the image, clicking on rotate, and here I have some rotate options where they are going to automatically rotate things for me. So I'm just going to flip horizontal for now, maybe decrease the size of it. Okay, now I don't want a ready-made background. For this one, I want to create my own background. So I'm just going to choose a rectangle, start from the top left, click and drag to cover the entire thing. Now, because we drew the rectangle after the shapes, it has come above it. So I'm going to right click, send to back. I don't want shape outline, so I'm just going to say no outline pehle se. Now I want a gradient. Gradient means not one solid color, but a shading. So there are already some basic gradient shading options, but I want more options. So I click on this tiny arrow again in format, and it's going to open all these options. Now I don't want a solid fill, I want a gradient. And here you have some gradient options. The type, radial means from the middle, rectangular path. Okay, so we're just going to choose any one. Then they ask you which direction do you want the light and dark to come from. Some color options are also available, but I want to create my own color, right? Because it's my flyer and I wanted to match my elements. So I'm going to remove this from the middle. I am going to click on this first arrow thing, choose the color I want that to be, maybe a green. Choose this other color, maybe I want it to be yellow. I want a green to yellow thing, but I want a white in between. So I'll just click in the middle, click on the white, and I'm going to choose any one. Then they ask you which direction do you want the light and dark to come from. Some color options are also available, but I want to create my own color, right? Because it's my flyer and I wanted to match my elements. So I'm going to remove this from the middle. I am going to click on this first arrow thing, choose the color I want that to be, maybe a green. Choose this other color, maybe I want it to be yellow. I want a green to yellow thing, but I want a white in between. So automatically I get one more bar, and I can choose whatever color I want to put there. This looks a lot like the Indian flag. Okay, so I'm just gonna make this a lighter yellow. Okay, so for example, this is how I want my background to be. You don't even need a background image. You can just make a gradient background on PowerPoint itself. Okay, what else did I want to show you? Removing background from images. Okay, this is a good one. So I am just going to share new screen. Okay, I'm just gonna open this because a lot of you were asking, no, how I got those like those children ka pictures and all. So I'm just going to share my screen for a minute with you. And someone had sent me this, or I had seen it online, and I really liked it and actually wanted to read it for myself later. But I just found the pictures in this useful because I had to make that flyer very quickly and I didn't have too much time. So these are all shortcuts that as a designer shouldn't use because I should make my own things. But when we're running out of time or something, now, for example, I think this girl can go on my flyer. These two girls can go on my flyer. There's nothing else much. Maybe this girl can go on my flyer. Okay, so first I go through it's just a PDF. But how do I crop this? So in every desktop and maybe laptop too, which is not Mac, I don't know about Mac, but on an office, like a Microsoft thing, they have something called a snipping tool. Okay, so I click on the snipping tool. I don't think you can see that. I don't even know how. Okay, this is what a snipping tool looks like. So I click on new and it allows me to take a screenshot of whatever is on my screen. So I just outline whatever I want and I save it. Now I'm just gonna share my screen again because that was a little complicated because I was trying to show you 2-3 different things. So this is where we were. I am going to take my snipping tool, click and drag this part of the image. I know it's not showing it to you because I'm using 2 different things, but you'll see the result of it. And I save it on my desktop. So now we're going to go back to the PPT. And I'm going to show you how I insert this. Okay, so I go to insert, or I can just click and drag from there. Go to pictures, go to desktop. And this is where whatever I had used from my snipping tool, I got. But because I used a snipping tool, this is not a PNG image, it's a JPEG image. That means it has this white background on it and I don't like it because it looks like a copy paste thing, right? I want it to look very natural. So what I'm gonna do is on the left-hand side, the leftmost side, when you click on any image, you see a remove background tool, okay, on PPT. So I click on it. Now all the pink areas means it's going to remove the pink area, and whatever is in color, I can see that it's going to allow me to keep. So I'm just going to increase this a little bit because I want some of the legs and all are cut here. So I'm just going to increase this size till I'm happy with it. And then I'm going to just click outside once and PPT remove the background for me automatically. Okay, but there are times when it doesn't remove it so easily for you. For example, I'm just going to go back. Okay, sometimes it just doesn't select some things. Like see here, even though I have selected the box till here, all these clothes are not selected. So at that time, I go to mark areas to keep and mark areas to remove. Now mark areas to keep means I want this to be a part of the selection. So I just choose those areas, I just make a line and I choose those areas that I want. And then I say keep changes. So it'll allow me to choose that. Okay, now if I feel like accidentally, automatically, they have tried to keep some background also, which we don't want. So then I use mark areas to remove. And then I just choose the background area and they will remove it. Okay, so like that, right now I'm just gonna choose remove background. Automatically it's removing most of the white spaces. There are still some around the hand. I'll just zoom in and show you. It's not perfect, okay? It's not gonna be 100% accurate, but it will do. But like, see, the finger is not shown, so I'm just gonna say mark areas to keep. I'm gonna mark this finger. Now there's this white spot here. I don't want it, so I removed that. So like that, you can be as meticulous as you want. That's okay. And that's how you remove a background from an image for PPT. So this is very helpful for designing things. Okay, so we have used, I have shown you most things, okay, grouping. So now that I have finished making this flyer, okay, maybe I'll just quickly make it a little more fair. I'm trying to stick with the same color scheme here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to make this bold. I'm going to underline it. I'm going to make it center aligned. And I am trying to use this color scheme. So the orange, brownish colors, because it goes with my background color also. So I'm going to try and keep most things that color so that it looks good and it looks like in harmony and everything. And then, so yes, one very important point which Puneet Bhai mentioned to me. So right now, when I just show you where you can get images and things from, we're just going to check out a few places where you can get all these images. Okay, a lot of you were asking about it. So we'll just come to that next. Now here I want to add a blue because this is also blue. So a little bit of contrasting colors is fine. This one really has to show through. So, for example, this is my flyer. It is done. Now what I want to do is I will click outside this, outside any of the elements, outside my canvas. I will click and drag, selecting everything on the page. Okay, so there are so many elements. Now I'm going to press Control G for grouping. So now the whole thing is grouped together. So when I click on the outermost rectangle, I can move everything in one go. But even if it is grouped and I want to change something in it, I can easily do that by clicking twice in it. So it goes inside the grouping, change the position. Now it's still grouped, but I've changed the position. Okay, so grouping allows you to put everything together, which is easier for us. Now, how do I save this? Because I want to send it by WhatsApp, right? I want to send it via WhatsApp or I want to email it or whatever. So I'm going to click on the outermost because see here, there are two rectangles. One is the rectangle of the background or one is the rectangle of the grouping. So always choose the rectangle of the grouping. Right click on it, save as picture. So once you save as picture, it's going to ask you where do you want to save it. So maybe on the desktop. Okay, I could just save it here. And then it's going to open as an image, but it's going to open as a PNG image, which is fine because you have a background. So if you don't have a background, for example, I don't have this, okay? I just have these three things and I like the white background. So now when I go to group this, it is not really coming as a flyer or as a design. It's just coming as three images, okay? And they're transparent, which is not what you want when you're sending it to other people. So I'm going to ungroup this. I'm going to insert similarly how I would for a background, a rectangle which I center back. And I say I want a white color. And I say I want a white outline. So now when I group this together, it has a white outline and I can save it and I can share it and it's not going to be transparent. Okay, so that is how we do these things. Grouping object, shape transparency. So I'll just go through, I will just recap what we have learned till now, okay, for doing this. So making this flyer. So we learned how to resize the canvas by going to design, going to slide size, and choosing the size that we want our canvas to be, like A4 size, square, landscape, portrait. Inserting images. Two ways to insert images is one through insert pictures, one is by clicking and dragging. Inserting text is, again, you go to insert, you take the text box. Alignment is when you choose two or more objects and you go to align in format and you align it however you want it. Another thing is inserting, okay, how to put photos of speakers in various shapes. So we learned how to do that. Removing backgrounds from images, we learned how to do that with this girl. Using the crop tool, we learned how to do that. Saving images, so you just right click and you save as. Okay, this is a good way of doing it because it will help you keep the clarity of it. Another way to do that is file, save as, choose the place you want to save it as, desktop for example. Now over here is by default PowerPoint presentation. If I want a JPEG file, I will just choose JPEG from here and I will click on save. Now they will ask me, do you want to save all the slides, means all those examples and everything, or do you just want this one page? So I'll just click on this one page. So only this page will be saved as a JPEG. So that's another way to save whatever you've created. Now, grouping objects also we have done, and shape transparency also we have learned how to do, which is just create a shape, go to format, this little arrow, go to solid fill, and just increase, decrease the transparency of any shape. Okay. So now that we have gone through this, what I want to do is I want to show you how we can get images online. Okay, and so for that, I'm just going to start my Google and I will share my screen with you. Now, there are a couple of sites which Puneet Bhai so sweetly has texted me to remind you all of, where you can get images which are, so first I want to show you how to just get Baba's logo, sorry, BK, Brahma Kumari's logo. Okay. Now here you will get all JPEG ones. So I will type PNG. Then go to images. Let me just see that you can see it. Yeah. And you will get all these logos. When you see this gray background a little bit, you know that there's transparency. Okay. So all those options, you just have to type what you are looking for very clearly. See your Shiv Baba. Okay, that's what I want. I want a PNG file. So you just search for it. See, this is a white color logo on a transparent background, which is very good for when you have a darker color. I actually have this logo. When you have a darker color background, for that, you can use this white logo. This is the one we were using, but this is not a PNG. This is a JPEG. So you just have to see which one's a PNG. Okay? So that you'll just have to check a little bit. Now, what we can do is we can go to these websites which Puneet Bhai has just listed out for me. These websites will not have copyright issues. So if you go, sorry, not images, all, and then you go to pixabay.com, for example. So there are 3-4 websites like this. One is this Pixabay. You type what you want. You want meditation, you type meditation. And you will find all these images which are free to use, so beautiful. And there is no copyright issues. It's not owned by somebody else. It's free for you to use. So when you use from these websites, then Brahma Kumaris will not run into copyright issues or law issues or legal issues. So it's better to use images from these kind of websites. Okay, so Pixels is one. I think Pixabay and Pixels is the same thing. I'm not sure. Unsplash.com is another one. These are all free in the public domain, so you don't need to worry about it. Again, there are so many amazing pictures in this and they're very good quality. So if I just want flowers, I'll click on flowers or I'll just type whatever I'm looking for exactly and it'll give me beautiful images. Now, for those of you who were asking for fonts, thefont.com, DAFONT.com is one of them. Here you can just see what kind of fonts you want. Okay, you want a typewriter font, you want a decorative font, you want a curly font. So you can always save them. Now, how to download these is just click on the download and here you'll see it's free for personal use. Okay, but if you just type fonts for commercial use, free. So you will get a lot of websites which are free for commercial use. Like if you want to make a logo or something and you want the font for that. So there are a lot of them, Font Space, Font Squirrel. Okay, a lot of them, just check it out. Sorry, my internet's a bit slow today. Now, how do you download them? So here you'll see download OTF. OTF is the font, like how we have PNG, JPEG. So like that for font, this is the how you do it. So I just click on download font and then it'll tell me where do you want it. So suppose I just save it on my desktop. And then it's a zip file. Then I extract it from the zip file and I have to save. So copy paste those OTF files into my control panel. Let me show you all this 1 second. Control panel. Okay, so I'm just going to open my control panel and I'm going to show you that. Okay. So now in the control panel of your computer or your laptop or whatever, there is this fonts ka folder. Click on the fonts folder. These are all the fonts that are there on my system. All I have to do is from that zip file, extract those fonts and copy paste the OTF fonts from there to this folder. That is it. Okay, and then close it. Then whenever you open, whenever you open for PowerPoint or whatever Word document or anything, you will see that font in the font list. So then you can use it. So that's how you install a font in your system. So that's it for fonts. You can even use Google Fonts. They are also free to use for anything. So if you feel like the fonts you have in your computer are very boring and you want to use some fun fonts, then that's one way of doing it. Now, I think another thing I wanted to show you was Canva website. But before I go on to that, I'm just gonna see if there's anything else we need to cover. Any other questions? I think we'll take questions at the end only. Okay, so we'll just finish Canva also very quickly. This is canva.com. Okay, that's the website. It is where you can, there are so many templates. I already have an account, so I'm just gonna log in. I don't remember my password. Okay. I am so sorry, I forgot my password. Okay, I'll just sign up again. Good, you will, or I can just sign up with Facebook. So there are 2-3 ways of doing it. You can sign up via Facebook or your email or whatever, but basically you get into the site and there are so many things you can design on this website. Okay, it's for social media, for events. So you have invitations, brochures, event programs, tickets. Then for marketing also, flyers, Facebook posts, Instagram posts, all that, that's new. Documents, okay, if you want a presentation, you want a letter. So all these things that you can design. But what we are going to do is we're going to go into create a design, which is over here. So I create a design. Now they're going to ask me, what do you want to design? Do you want to design a flyer, poster, video, logo? Now remember, because we are using the free part of Canva. So Canva is some things it allows you to do for free, but for other things, like see here, there's try Canva Pro. So Pro is the paid version of it. So you will have limited things that you can do on Canva for free, which is fine. See, a lot of people who have YouTube channels, like a lot of centers have YouTube channels. So all the Kumars, Kumaris, or whoever who's designing for them, you can even use Canva to design all these things. Okay? So you can just explore it. But for now, we're just going to stick with flyer. Now the dimensions are given here. 210 by 297 is actually an A4 size. So it converts roughly to 8.5 by 11 inches, which is our normal A4 size. So we're just going to go with flyer. Now, how we're going to use this is, if you see on the side over here, you have so many options, okay? And basically you can choose what background you want, what elements you want, what photos you want. You can upload your own photos. And here are different ones. Like, see, there's so much for COVID also now that's come up. Whatever kind of flyer. Now, for example, this looks decent. I don't want both pages. I'm just going to choose one page. And I want to convert this into a flyer for my center ka event. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I am going to edit this text, use the same text we did over there. So what I did to edit it is I just clicked on it. Okay, reclaiming happiness. So that, open for business now, what we're going to write is online series, for example. Sorry. Then we're just going to write, I don't know, maybe if we don't need this, we can just remove it completely. Because I can't think of what to write right now. Monday to Saturday, okay. Yeah, we're just going to write starting from, so I don't know, 12th July to, and I'm just putting any date right now, okay, random stuff, just to show you. So that's how you basically edit whatever template that you like over here. Now, see, this has a watermark, which I'm not happy with. Remove watermarks, I think you have to pay for it. So I'm obviously not going to pay for this. I'm just going to delete it. I don't need it. And see, here is this contact information and everything, which I don't want over here. So I'm just going to delete all this. Okay. So this is the basic outline of my flyer. It's a little trickier to use. I prefer PPT actually. Okay, you can increase, decrease. Now I want more text. So I'm going to go to text. Can we add a text? I'm not even sure. Oh, see, they have images that you can get from pixels and everything. So I haven't used this in a very long time because I've really not needed to. So I'm just going to add some body text here. They have updated it a lot. Add a little bit of body text. This is where I'm going to write organized by or whatever. Organized by Kumaris. Okay. So that way you can keep adding. Like if I want a subheading, it's going to be a little bigger. That kind of stuff. Now I want the logo, Baba's logo, which is the most important thing, right? So I go to uploads and I tell them upload an image. But because I have used Canva before, so whatever I had uploaded before is already here. So it's easy for me to use. But to show you how to do it, I'm just going to click on this and say upload an image or video. Now it'll take me to my desktop or wherever. So I go wherever I have my PNG images or whatever saved. And I'm just going to choose one of Baba's logos. Maybe this one. I had some more. Maybe they're not in this folder. Okay, so I'm just going to use this one. Here it is. It's uploading it. And once it's done, I can click on it and it'll come here. Okay, it's very slow. I'm just going to choose this. Now, again, if you see on the corners, there are circles and in the middle, there are bars. If I move this from the middle, it's going to crop it, which we don't want. So I am going to move it only from the corner. And I'm going to place it wherever I want. And I'm going to move this thoda niche. Not easy to use. Okay, whatever. Okay, so this is how it's done basically. You can rotate it. Don't need to, but you can. And now I want to add elements. So we go to elements and they just show you all these different things you can use. Like there are these, of course, don't choose stickers because all this is for like online stuff. And we're making a flyer. So we don't really want that, but we can use just any kind of images like a flower or something. These organic rainbows, pretty cool. Okay, so we're just going to, and you have to see what is free and what is paid. So this one says that it's free. So I'm just going to click on it. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to resize it. Maybe I will use 2, 3 of them. Okay, and I will make them different sizes. So, or if I want to use flowers or something, then I use this. This actually goes very well with the color too. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to save it. Now I've put all the elements I wanted. If I wanted something in the background, then here they've given you some background options. Okay, so I mean, a lot of things you can do to explore and play around with it. You can even search for something, like if you're looking for meditation, which is probably what you'll be looking for a lot. So you have these images. Suppose I like this one. I want to include this. I want to include this one. Where did it go? I have no idea. Okay, I'm just going to take it again. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff that you can do with Canva. And it has, I guess some of you will find it easier because if you're not designers and you have ready-made pictures, ready-made stuff here. Sorry, I'm just going to show you how now to save this. So I am done with whatever I wanted. If I want to add a new page, they will let me add a new page. Suppose you have to do a front and back flyer. So I add a new page. Now here again, I'm going to have to choose either the same template, which they've already given me, or I can choose not to do that and I can include like on the previous background, I can just add whatever color, elements, okay, and again make it, add some text. I'm just adding random things just to show you that we can do 2 pages, but you got the gist of it. Now I want to save this. So I am going to click on this download button. Download. Now they're going to tell me what type of file do you want? Do you want a JPEG file? Do you want a PNG file? Do you want a PDF file? GIF and all is not really useful for us for making flyers because if you want a moving one and all, yes, but right now we're just going for a simple one. So I will choose PNG. Then I will click on download. See, I don't want Pro. Download. Now they're preparing my design. And it's just going to save on my computer. I'm so sorry, I'm not very good with Canva because I don't really use it. But there are so many options. So for those of you who really feel like, it's valuable for you and you like it and it's easier because there is ready-made photographs and ready-made elements to use and there are more fonts available as well, then you can use this. Okay, so now it's telling me where to save. It's gonna, now if you see, it's gonna give me a zip file. Okay, that is fine. I'll save it on my desktop. And as soon as it's done saving, I'm gonna unzip the file and show you what it actually looks like. Sorry, 1 second. I know you can't see my screen right now. I'm just gonna try and unzip it first and then open it. Okay, so you shared, here it is. I unzipped it. This is what it looks like. Click on it. This is my flyer. Page 1, page 2. This is how it has been saved. Okay, so that is how you use all these things. Okay, how do we find background pictures? Very good question. Just go to, 1 second, let me share my screen again. I don't know how it stopped. Go to Google and type backgrounds. And they will give you some amazing images. If you have something specific in mind, background of sky. So it will give you these amazing sky backgrounds. If you say background textured, you will find amazing textures that you can use as a background. I mean, some of these colors are beautiful. If you say background spiritual, then you will find all sorts of cool stuff that maybe you can use, maybe you cannot use because it's not very BK, but see, like this lotus thing, it looks really good. So you can just see what size it is, see that it's not a very small size, otherwise it will pixelate. And then you just save it, and that's how you get different kinds of backgrounds. And one more website I want to tell you about is prepic.com. Now, this is a website that designers use, okay? And this is a very designy based software. I mean, a website where you, even if you download it, you will get all Illustrator files and Illustrator, Photoshop, all those kind of files, which are not really something that you will be using. So, but you can always try it for background. And this is where I get a lot of my elements from, which I try to use in the flyers, which I will be sharing with you today, some of them, which are those leaves and flowers and things. So you get a lot of stuff on freepic.com as well. Only thing is you won't be able to open the files because they'll be design files. So that's the issue, but you can always check out all these websites. Okay, so I think we should take questions now. Yes, so can we start Q&A? In case I miss on any questions, please let me know. I'm just going to scroll through the chat and see. And Karishma Ben, can you check on YouTube also if we have any questions from there? So I'm just gonna, okay, so Praful Bhai has shared the link to the YouTube training. Okay, so if anyone wants to have a look at that, I am going to keep this screen on right now. If you have anything, then I can show you on the screen.
Om Shanti Koshabin.
Om Shanti.
One question from YouTube is regarding Hindi fonts, how they can be used and downloaded.
So, because I myself am very bad with Hindi, I have limited knowledge on it. But same way you can download Hindi fonts. So just go to Google. Let me share my screen and show you. We can try. Okay. So I am just gonna type Hindi fonts, and they download the same way. So don't go to images, go to all. Hindi fonts, download free fonts, things like this. So you go here and then they show you which font you want. So Kruti Dev is the most common font because whatever I have used, it's pretty good. So you can, and there are different widths and different sizes like thickness and all that. So you can just download it the same way that you would an English font. And same way as I showed you, you have to, once it's downloaded, it'll be a zip file. You have to extract it, and then you have to just remove the OTF files from that and put it in the control panel ka font folder. So that's it. Okay, so I just got a question. What is the preferred resolution to print invitations from PowerPoint as hard copies? So for printing, the resolution should always be 300 dpi. Okay, and though that is not really an option in PowerPoint because PowerPoint was not made to make print things, but you can still make them. I have made it before. Just make sure you use at least A4 size when you make an invitation or anything. Like just make it bigger, so then you'll get a better resolution of it. Okay, any other questions? Is it, I don't understand. Okay, Microsoft PowerPoint, someone's already answered that. Karishma Ben, are there any other questions? I'm just going through the chat to see if I've missed any. Okay, could you please explain again how you select 1:1 ratio? I think that question is for me to select the images in a shape, right? So what I do is, I'll just show you, ungroup this. Okay, I go to format. I select it, go to format, go to crop to shape, and below crop to shape is aspect ratio. So that then you can choose any one. Like if I say 4:5, it's gonna become an oval. If I say crop aspect ratio 1:1, it's gonna become a perfect circle. So that's how I did it. Ideal font size in A5 page, I've already said this, but if you're gonna print it out, 11 point size should be the minimum, just so that there's enough legibility and you can read it properly. Okay. Can we use PPT format for printing purposes? Yes, I just answered that. So you can, but just make sure it's at least A4 size, or you're working on a bigger size than you need, so that the quality doesn't get affected. So whoever has asked for the recording, please go to the YouTube link because it's going to be there. Yes, I will share the Google Drive link right now. Okay, someone did not get the remove background option. So I'll just tell you again. So for example, when I remove the background of this image, I click on the image, I go to format, I go to remove background, which is on the left-hand side. Okay, how to make PPT as a video? You just have to save it as a video, but actually, PPT has animations and things like that, which we've not covered today. So that's actually a whole different topic, but you just have to save it as an MP4 at the end of it. Can you please show grouping part again? Sure. So when I choose multiple things, one way to do it is, if I want to share, if I want to group everything on my screen, I'm just going to click and drag like this and Control G. Control G is for grouping. That's the shortcut. And if I don't want to group everything and I just want to group, suppose these two things, and I don't want to group this, then I choose multiple things by clicking on Shift. So I click on this, then while holding Shift, I click on another thing, and then I right click on it and I group it. Okay, or Control G is the shortcut. which is better, Photoshop or PowerPoint? Can you please teach Photoshop? So maybe we will check with the IT wing and see if we can have a Photoshop session sometime in the future. But Photoshop is better for designing any day because that was made for designing, for editing photos. But with PowerPoint also, now that they've updated it, I mean, there's so much we can do, right? So, but Photoshop is always better. So I'm just gonna share the Google Drive link with you right now. 1 second. Let me just open it and copy the link. And I'm just gonna paste it in the chat box. So this is where I have put all these PNG files that I was showing you. Please just download it and keep it so that in case I ever delete it from the Google Drive, you will have a copy. Let me see what other questions are there. Okay. Please show again resizing the arrow shape that you showed earlier. So actually, sister, it's just playing around with the yellow squares that you see on it. Is it possible to add a GIF to an e-flyer PDF? So for PDF, GIFs are not possible. If you want to share it as a GIF, you can make GIFs on PPT, but then you will have to save that file as a GIF file. So you cannot have moving objects in a PDF file. Can you share the images and existing PPT for reference over the Google Drive? I will put this PPT in this Google Drive as well after the session is over, but I've already shared the Google Drive link. How to get a flyer in WhatsApp. Okay, so what you do is now that you have saved the flyer on your desktop or wherever, you can even go to WhatsApp from your computer or your laptop, which is what I do. So you just type whatsappweb.com. Okay, let me share that with you. whatsappweb.com. Okay, so I'm just gonna go on this website. That's where I can get WhatsApp on my computer. So I can just send it to somebody, or why is this not working? I'm just gonna try again. Okay, so WhatsApp web. So this one. And now you can see my WhatsApp. And yeah, so you just save it wherever you want. Okay. And I mean, just send it to whoever. So that's how you can share it. Can we have one session on making the video like for a promo of some program? Actually, yes, I was talking to Praful Bhai about it, that maybe we could have a session on video making. So maybe we'll try and make that happen. PNG Wing. Okay, so Sister Anjali tells us that pngwing.com is another website to get PNG images. So thank you so much for that. Let's try it out. pngwing.com. Okay, so yeah, so I guess you can just type whatever you're looking for and you'll get a PNG for it. That's really nice. See all these really nice things. That would be really good. Thank you so much, sister, for that. So there is something called quillpad.in editor for easy typing from English to Hindi, and we can paste directly from how do you get a multicolor background?
Koshaben, if you are speaking, we are not able to hear you.
Oh my God, how much did you all listen to? Because I was going on and on talking.
No. So yeah, we went
What's the last thing you all heard?
PNG Wing. You showed that website. Just after
Okay.
that, you need to come.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know when I muted it.
No problem.
PNG Wing is another website that you can get it from, and quillpad.in that Puneet Bhai said is for easy typing from English to Hindi, and we can paste directly from the web. So I'm trying to open that. Here it is. So I guess this will help you easily type from English to Hindi. Okay. So I'm not really sure how to do this. Okay, so you just type in English and you get it in Hindi. So that is very helpful, especially for people like me who are not very good with Hindi. Oh, you can't see my screen. Let me just show you what I did. So this is quillpad.com and I type kaise ho, and then it just comes up like this in Hindi, which is very helpful. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, so there's a sister who's asking me about multicolor backgrounds. Okay, that's what I was going to show you right now. Sorry, wrong screen. So one way to do it is just take different. So if you want a solid multicolor background, like with different strips of color, you just copy paste a lot of rectangles and color them differently, and then group them and put it at the back as a background. But if you want one like a multicolor gradient background, then you go to gradient fill and you keep adding colors in between, like a blue here and this color here, red here. So this is radial, I'll just put linear. Okay, and you can even choose the angle. So if I want like a 90-degree angle, then this is how you can get it. So I hope that helped and made sense. Om Shanti, I am a designer. We need it. Okay, so yes, actually there's an announcement I want to make that if any of you who are graphic designers or who now know how to use PowerPoint for designing flyers and things like that, right? And you will practice and get better at it. But if you can help us in any way, because a lot of centers don't have anyone to help them with the designing Sewa. So if you would like to do some of the designing Sewa, please put your email ID on this chat to everyone, or maybe to Praful Bhai, okay, BK Praful. He's the host. So if you can just share your email ID with him, then whenever there is a need for someone to design flyers, then they can get in touch with you. So that will be a very big help. So thank you so much. So anyone who can do that, please give your emails to Praful Bhai. Okay, so buffer.com is another image library. I'm just going to open that and show you. We've got a few requests for making a class on Photoshop. So there are a few graphic designer students. Thank you so much. Please give your email IDs to Praful Bhai. Where to get Baba images? I actually usually just go on google.com and type Brahma Kumari's images, Brahma Kumari's meditation, and you will find a lot of images. Sister, the background folder and drive is empty. I have actually put it should not be empty unless one of you have edited it accidentally and removed it from there. I'll just check. So after this session, I will just make sure that everything is in the drive. So just give me some time, please. Or use below app. Okay, fine. How to remove white background from Shiv Baba logo. So Didi, it's the same way. Like if we have a Shiv Baba, let me just download a Shiv Baba logo and show you all right now. So if I just go to Google, okay, and I type Shiv Baba logo, and I will get one with a white background, okay, because it's difficult to get one with a PNG. So for example, I save it on my desktop. Then we go to PowerPoint and I insert it here. So it has a white background. So I select it, I go to format, I go to remove background. Similarly, I just extend it to all the edges. Click outside once, and I have removed the white background from the Shiv Baba logo. Okay, so it's just like everything else. Can we have the website names on chat? Puneet bhai, can you please copy paste that into the chat for everybody so they can have the website names? Thank you so much. Okay, Google Drive link again. How to know which sites are free without any copyright issues? So the websites that we showed you, Pexels, Unsplash, all those are free from copyright. But you can always just type on Google which are the royalty-free photos or public domain photos for use. So public domain means it's free for all and there will be no copyright. So just look for public domain. Please share Hindi conversion site again. So Puneet bhai, can you please share? It's quillpad.com, no? If I'm not mistaken, yes, quillpad.com. So whoever has sent me their email IDs, can you please either send it to everyone or Praful bhai, because he's making a note of them and we don't want to miss it. So please do that. Please share email ID, brother, so we can share our email ID with you. You can just even private chat him over here right now, Mitali Ben, and he can just take down your email ID. Thank you so much, all of you. So many people are volunteering. That is so great. Okay, somebody else again asked for a Photoshop class. We will look into it. I would love to. And for After Effects. So I've actually learned After Effects, but I've not practiced it much. But I know a brother who uses it to make amazing Baba effects and all. So we were talking about it yesterday, and maybe we could arrange a class for that also for you. How to put Baba's rays in the PPT. So I have these rays that I have shared with y'all in this so what I did is I just typed on Google PNG rays or PNG sun rays or just, rays like that. And I got these images where it's a little transparent. So it looks like actual rays. This one. So like what I usually do is I take Baba's logo, I bring it to front and I put it on top of this. So that's how it looks. Please arrange some more sessions for designing. So, what we could do is, if all of you could just go back and practice all these flyer designing things, then maybe if we have another session in the future, which we'll have to check and arrange for one, then you will be able to come up with difficulties and then we can answer your difficulties, Yes, we will do that. So for everyone's ease, can we keep all the URL in a notepad and keep it in Drive? So yes, Puneet bhai, if you don't mind, could you please note them down because I don't have them right now.
We'll do that. So we are saving all the URLs and chat.
Okay. Yes.
So what we will do is we'll prepare a file and save it on the same drive.
Great.
In addition, what y'all can do, all those who have logged in from PC, there is a right click on the chat window and you can save chat. Okay, so there is option to save chat on the participants this thing. So you can do that as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So I think I've answered all the questions on Zoom. Karishma Ben, are there any on YouTube? I'm not sure because YouTube's not on my system right now.
No, Kusha Ben, there are no more questions.
Okay. Great. So I think we have covered everything we were supposed to. And I hope I haven't gone through something very fast and I hope you all understood everything. I think it's just about practice. So the more you practice all this, the easier it's going to get for you. Where is the save chart option? You mean save as option? So basically what I do is I just group everything together. For example, Control G. Then I right click, save as picture. And then I just save wherever I have to save. So, yeah.
Kushaben, I think they are asking save chat.
Oh, save chat. Sorry, uh, actually even I couldn't find it. Praful, why could you? Um, wait a minute.
Yeah, so no worries. So all those have given me email. What we will do is we'll email you all the details. Okay,
Okay.
so that will be handy. So we have all your emails. Whoever has written, all from YouTube also have copied the emails, and also
Yeah.
on the Zoom. So do not
Okay.
worry. We will email you all the links. We'll just compile them and email you separately, so that you
Great.
have everything. You will get the Drive link also, Google Drive link, the free websites, the translate, and everything whatever we discussed today.
And everyone who is sending me their email IDs, please send them to Praful Bhai, because a lot of y'all are privately sending me your emails. So I just want to make sure he gets it. So please send it to him, or put it in everyone's chat so that he doesn't miss out on your email IDs. And thank you so much, everyone. It was a pleasure for me to conduct this session. And thanks a lot. So is there anything else, Praful Bhai, that we need to announce?
Yes,
No, not really. Deepa Ben, are you online?
yes, I'm there,
Yeah.
and thank you very much, Kosha. And it was so nice for you to, share that you would like to come and guide all of us, because there are so many in so many centers. We have so many Baba's angels like you who have intention to do Baba service. They have a little understanding of all these things, but you have helped them to sharpen their understanding. And I'm sure when they will practice, they maybe whenever you do the next session, they will be able to come and share experiences or even ask questions. But thank you very much. It is very important, because now Baba's Behad Sewa is there, and I think we have so many online sessions which every center is doing, and so we need so many hands everywhere. And this session will really help so many of Baba's instruments who have little insight of graphic designing and maybe PowerPoint understanding is there, so they are able to now, because of this session, learn. And because it's also on YouTube, they can go back, they can understand, they can start practicing. And I'm sure Baba's a lot of service will be supported by this session. Thank you very much, Baba's angel. And from all of the brothers and sisters who are listening, a lot of thanks to Baba first, and also to you as Baba's instrument to guide all of us. Thank you so much, Usha.
Thank you, Deepa Ben, for making this happen.
No,
And thank you, Baba. So thank you, everyone. It was really great that so many of you joined, and so many of you are coming forward with your email IDs to volunteer for doing this design seva. So it is very much appreciated. So thank you. Om Shanti, everyone.
Om Shanti. I have one
Thank you,
question.
everyone.
Last question.
Yes, sure.
Are you going to take any follow-up class after this?
We will actually have to discuss that. I don't mind taking a follow-up class, but nothing is decided. Like there's no date decided
So-
as such. So we'll have to check.
Yeah. So all those who have given email, we will keep you informed on the emails whenever we decide the future class. So based on the feedback which we have received, I think many of you all are interested in learning further, something like Photoshop and advanced things of this.
Yeah,
So
that's
we will discuss with the seniors, and we will keep you all updated.
this is okay if we are going ahead with this PowerPoint presentation and PowerPoint poster presentation. But I want to, if you can take any classes regarding Adobe Premiere or Adobe Photoshop like that, it would be good for us.
So we'll just
I think
check.
we already
Yeah.
responded to your request. Yeah. Thanks.
So we'll check with the elders, and we'll see when we can, how we can go forward with that. But yeah, we'll keep that in mind. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Om Shanti, everyone. Thank
Om
you.
Shanti.